Hi guys, it's Johnny from Kalpanic Games. Today I have some new updates about my game that I'm making. It will be a roguelike dungeon explorer game, and I changed the sprites from the last time, and later I will update the sprites with something that I will be making. But for now, those are some fillers that I'm using, and a disclaimer that I haven't made the artwork by myself or any by no other means. Just to be clear, it's not my art. So with that out of the way, let's start. So what we have over here is if we hit play, we have our little hit character. If we maximize, you can see if you go left and right, you can go up and down, diagonal, and etc. It works pretty nice. Also, if you press the shift modifier key, it runs. And if you can dash, let me see. Yeah, see, you can dash. So that's what I've done. The thing looks very simple, but I went ahead and made a kind of little bit modular kind of way. If you look and come to the player, you see I have a few scripts. You can modify the walk speed, you can modify the run speed, you can also modify the character speed. Then if you come to the character, you can select what kind of entity is it a player or is it an AI? So yeah, I've been learning a lot, and I hope that I will be making a tutorial about it to explaining things how I have done those. And you can also have a flip over here, and you also have an animator. So yeah, it's really modular, and the things are not that much dependent, the abilities are not dependent on each other. This way I can just edit one without affecting the other code. So if I open the character in my Visual Studio, you see over here we saying like what's gonna be our character gonna be, which an enum or not. Like also I would suggest using private serializable field whenever you can, and please do not try to use public. It's one of the mistakes that most of the people make. So I suggest not to make things public. Try to make private. It's a bad practice if you use public all the time, and it's against object oriented programming principles. And right over here, uh, that's what it is, and it's not really doing much. And then we go to our core. The other core component is the character controller. It controls all the things, that the input and all those things. So if you open that up, you see over here we have like contain all the logic of our character and movement, and it's going to need a box 2D box 2D and a rigid body 2D to work. And then what we're doing over here, like we're getting and setting, it's a property. uh, so you just try prop and you can get those. And then we have some normal movement for normalizing. So basically it returns so we can move normally and looks good and doesn't look like glitchy when you move diagonal. So that's why you're doing normalized movement. We're setting up a private rigid body. Then we getting on awake. I tend to use awake because it's the first thing that they start even before the start function. So whenever you start, then you can get the component, and right away you get the rigid body. Then we make the normal movement true in the start. And then we don't really use update yet. And fixed update is anything that you put, like in the physics or movement kind of thing, you put that in fixed update. So it's a good practice to put that. Now we're checking if normal movement, we can move our character. In here we're getting the input from the input manager for x and y, and storing them in a variable to make the player move regardless of the frame rate of the computer that you're using. Now over here what we're doing is we're declaring our current position. then we checking where is our position, then we adding the current movement multiplied by time dot fixed delta time. Since we are using fixed update, we are using a fixed delta time, not the regular delta time. Then we setting our things to the current move position, and we making a nice small things. But if you notice, we have like a small methods or function, whatever you prefer to call them. So that way is much more better to have handle the codes if you have any problem. So I have features like that. And then another thing is like a character component, where will like this is the core or the brain of all the abilities. So over here I will go through, we're getting all the things, we're declaring our variables on top. Then we have handle ability, handle input, then we have internal input. As you see over here, we're main logic of the thing. Yeah, so those are the things. And I'm making more progress. It's right now it's just kind of a dev block right now, not really a tutorial. So I hope what you see you like it, and if you like my content, please subscribe and give some thumbs up. So until then, see you next time.